Largo, and we're here in the Lair again to talk about Adventure Team, doing another unboxing. I'm slowly putting together my AT-76. We've got our de facto leader at the moment until I get a commander, which is our black spider rendezvous guy. So he's kind of my stand-in for the man of action until I get a better one. My Mike Power, who is the Collectors Club update version. Really happy with that. He's kind of my go-to guy. He's going to be part of my team. I wanted a really good air adventurer. You know, you got to have your land, sea, and air, plus your man of action, your general purpose adventurer as well that comes, you know, as part of the team. And working on the custom Bullet Man eventually, as soon as I get all the pieces, parts together that I'm assembling to do my recipe for that. But looked at vintage, looked at some of the re-releases of the Air Adventurer that you know, you could find at Walmart and a few other places a few years ago. Those are okay, and I'll probably pick those up as well to just add to the collection. But I think I found the ultimate air adventurer in this set that was part of the Collector Club G.I. Joe convention for 2008. Not just because it's a really cool rendition of the air adventurer, but it comes with Bigfoot. I'm a freaking fan of the furry guy. So any chance to get a good Sasquatch type toy in the Lair, I'm all over it. So while searching the interwebs looking for some AT-76 recruits, I came across this at a decent price considering it is a limited edition from a convention. And went ahead and decided to pull the trigger on it. So we're gonna open this up and take a look at the contents and see how well this matches up with the other Joes that are part of my team. So here we go, kids. This is so freaking huge, I wasn't sure how I was gonna fit it on video. Really big box, meant to be a, you know, display piece all in of itself. And it really is. Like we said, this is a 2008 convention exclusive from the Dallas, Texas convention for that year. The artwork on the box is stellar. The club commissioned some art for all of these different sets that they did throughout the years, and this is definitely one of my favorites. Not just because of Bigfoot, but just the art style itself is really well done and is a great depiction of what's in the box, as we're about to see. So, oh my. This will definitely take some shelf space, but I gotta display this box. It is super cool. First off, we've got some paperwork. We have, so we have a copy of the comic book, reminiscent of the style that came with the old Joe sets. This one is, of course, The Search for the Sasquatch. So, really nice. Kind of a modern take on the artwork style, but cool little story. We'll be enjoying that. We've got a copy of the Joe convention exclusive comic book. This is the JoeCon edition, and it's got a cool story in here of your, you know, real American hero era Joes. I like the art. It's very cool, very well done, nicely printed. And there is a cool ad on the back for the convention special this year, which was the Bigfoot set, or Sasquatch. And there was a base camp set that you could also buy as an addition. Haven't been able to track that down yet. Probably won't be able to. I don't know how hard it's gonna be to find somebody who'd be willing to not keep that in their collection if they already have it, unless they bought a spare. But like I said, I was very fortunate just to find this. Most people who collect these are not looking to take them out of their collection. But I'm really excited about adding this to what we've got going on. The last piece is a certificate that came with the set, a certificate of authenticity, which has got the Hasbro stamp on there, as well as the convention club, or the convention for that year stamp on there. Signed by Brian Savage, who was the director of the club at the time, and Michael Ritchie from the G.I. Joe team. Just talks about the set, all the contents, and that it is an official product that was commemorating this convention. So really neat to have that. Nice that the previous owner put it in a cool folder for me. So put that aside and start looking at what we got in the box. First and foremost, the Air Adventurer. Yeah, really nicely packed. Everything's protected in this nice foam, and it's almost just a good display in and of itself if you wanted to display it open, but I won't because dust. But I'll definitely keep this box for displaying the amazing artwork for sure. So this Joe I chose for my AT-76. Of course, I was heavily influenced by the Bigfoot figure, but I like this Air Adventurer in and of himself. He is, slide that giant box over to the side. He is a fuzzy head. He is also on a super articulated body, which is something that came later from Hasbro. So he's got really good articulation, double jointed elbows and knees. He's got articulation in his midsection, very reminiscent of modern 1/12 figures. Plus he also has what they call the gung-ho grip, so he has movable fingers instead of the kung fu grip, which were just the rubber hands. And these are pretty good for holding weapons and accessories and for posing. One thing I really like that they've done with this is the fact that they've re-sculpted or reimagined the classic head to fit on this modern body. And it is a pretty good likeness of the original Joe sculpt, but redone for a modern type of articulation, which is cool. One other little thing that he comes with, if I can get his zipper open here, instead of the old style Adventure Team giant dog tag, I'll take your field glasses off here. Yeah, he does come with a pair of field glasses or binoculars, but I want to unzip his flight suit here for a minute, just so you can get a look at his G.I. Joe dog tag. It's a 2-scale version that fits with the figure. It's kind of neat, kind of a really neat, just got the little Alpha Tango symbol on there. So that's tucked away under his flight suit. Comes with a really cool utility belt, which I always appreciate. I always like it when they put belts on the jumpsuits. Just makes it look better. The tailoring on the suit itself is awesome. I never liked the orange jumpsuit because I always it kind of made him look like a county jail inmate or something. You know, this looks more like a guy who is the Air Adventurer, who's ready to jump into a helicopter or jetpack like he comes with it here, or any other vehicle that the Joes were using in the Adventure Team. Really nicely tailored. Sadly, his AT sticker just won't stay. It's old and the adhesive isn't working, so I'll have to get him a new one. But the suit in and of itself looks awesome, even without that little sticker. So really enjoying that. And like I said, super articulated. Just looks really good. So I'll get some of these accessories out. We'll take a look at them here in just a second. One thing I really like about these convention exclusives or collectors club type sets that were put together is finding interesting ways that they have reused pieces from previous sets and coming up with new ways to imagine some of the equipment. The jetpack is definitely very unique, but I can see the core pieces are pretty simple. So back in the day, there was a jet type platform that the Joes had that kind of strapped around their waist. I can't remember what that set was called. I'm sure somebody will know and put it in the chat. But they had these jet pods that went on each side. So what it looks like they've done is they took those jets, added a connecting hose and some controllers, and put it onto a board that is reminiscent of the type of board you'd have for scuba tanks on some of the scuba gear. And then they've attached a harness set that's very similar to the harness they would have used on a parachute. So simply reuse of parts to make a new gadget. And we'll strap that on our Air Adventure and see how that looks here in a minute. A very unusual piece, kind of going with the theme of this for going squatching. It's what they call a sonic net launcher. So it is a combo weapon that has little canisters that are compressed nets, and it has, you know, writing on there to that nature. Compressed net capsule, contents under pressure. You know, the idea being that the bazooka type design is for launching, you know, a big old net, and then it has this kind of weird contraption on the side. It's supposed to be some sort of a sonic weapon to harmlessly disable the critter they're after, in this case being Bigfoot. It's a kind of a hodgepodge reuse of some weaponry from other sets done in the Adventure Team Yellow. Kind of unwieldy, kind of goofy, but, you know, fits the theme. So there is that. The capture net itself I haven't opened, but looks to be pretty big. Hopefully big enough to cover our giant cryptid here. And as we said before, it comes with a pair of field glasses, which are always helpful. Pair of aviator type goggles for when he's flying around with his jet. A messenger bag, which I really wish had come with the Black Spider Rendezvous. Just a simple thing that should be there for any adventurer who's going to be running around and needs a place to stow their gear. This one's really nice because they screen printed the Alpha Tango on the bag, and that's a really nice accessory. I like that. That's a nice touch. And it's well sewn and looks really cool. So that messenger bag will definitely see some use with all the adventurers, I'm sure. Comes with a commemorative pin for Countdown to Glory Convention 2008, and of course says Dallas, Texas on there because that's where it was held. Neat piece. Just kind of a little value add. He comes with a first aid kit, which unfortunately it's not the style that goes on the belt, but I guess this will go in his messenger bag. There's no way to attach it to his belt. And a radio with a headset that is, you know, a little bit more modern. I've seen this with some other, you know, modern type sets Joe came out with in the 90s and 2000s. So definitely got some gear upgrades here from his 70s type stuff. On his person, on his utility belt, he has a utility knife of some sort, which honestly looks more like a bayonet type knife. But no, it's a, you know, it's a utility knife, really cool. And on his other side, he's got an old style holster with a 45, it looks like. Yep. And really nicely done. I'm not sure which set this came from originally, but nice reuse. Definitely fits with the theme. You know, I would have liked a shoulder holster because that's traditional, but I think with the jetpack, that wouldn't be practical. It makes more sense to have it on his belt. But the fact that he comes with a knife and a pistol and the trippy bazooka kind of thing, you know, it's very groovy military / sci-fi that was very much an Adventure Team thing. So there is that. But of course the main enchilada accessory or figure is Bigfoot himself. So we'll open this up and take a look at him in just a moment. Here we have our AT-76 all geared up and ready to go squatching. So I opted to give my mic power the headset and goggles, one, because it matches his outfit better, and two, since we've given him the turbocopter to represent his rotocopter he used to use back in the day, I just think it fits in pretty well. So that really works better on this figure. The helmet that came with the turbocopter, I think, actually works better for the jetpack. So it's a pretty nice setup. Again, it's more for display than play. The control tubes are like a hard straw plastic. They should definitely be replaced with something like, I don't know, paracord might work. I'll talk with some of the guys who do some customizing and get some ideas. The controllers that they gave him are actually detonator switches that have been repurposed. And they fit, but they're kind of clunky. So we might look at changing the controllers on that too. But overall, definitely looks good. And I think with the rotocopter or turbocopter's helmet, just makes a better look overall. So that's what we're going to go with. As far as this goofy net launching bazooka thingy with the Sonic, it's unwieldy. It doesn't fit on the figure very well. It was definitely designed for effect, just kind of to be a display piece. It's okay for what it is. I like how it fits with the storyline, but I don't know. I guess I'll have to do some research on how to make this work or replace it with something a little more easy for him to use. In store, I can't see him trying to carry this big old thing on the jetpack, even though it's got a carry strap. So, whoops, if somebody's got some suggestions for me on that, I am definitely willing to listen. But other than having some balance issues due to the jetpack, I'm real happy with the way this guy's turned out. Get his controller back in his hand here. They just, they fit in the hand, but they're not great. I think we can do better. But for what they were going for a cool display piece for the Collectors Club, it works. And, you know, having him up next to my Atomic Man, you know, one with the copter, one with the jetpack, we're definitely ready to do some air adventure type storylines. So it'll be cool to see where we go with that. I have Mike and my air adventurer, whoops, hang out here for a minute. If I can get him to stand up with that jetpack on. Definitely need to invest in a couple stands too. So let's talk about the big boy here, or not so big. I mean, he's good size for what he is. He's cute and cuddly. Could definitely do a hug or a barefoot or Bigfoot grip. You know, he needs to have his hair fluffed from being in a plastic package for many years. Overall, size-wise, he works. He seems like he would be definitely a little fella, kind of a juvenile Bigfoot. I would assume Big Bigfoot would be much bigger than a Joe. But, you know, if he's a younger one, then that would work. Maybe work that into the story too. Maybe he's just a juvenile delinquent gone wrong that needs to see the error of his ways. But the sculpt on him, the hands are really nicely done, and the feet and the face. I'm liking the whole look of it. It's a recoloring of the Yeti figure that came out, I think, in about 2002 as part of another set, which I looked at, but it's like, you know, Yeti's cool, but I want Bigfoot. I want the guy that, you know, stomps around the areas I used to live. So very happy to have him. I don't have any other Bigfoot toys in my collection yet. It's hard to find in the scales that I collect or with any kind of articulation. This guy has some articulation. He has a wireframe skeleton inside, which gives him a little bit of movement in the legs and the arms. You can certainly pose him a bit, but not too wild because, you know, wireframes are prone to breakage. And he's already got a little bit of a loose foot on one side. So I definitely need to be careful with him on how we do toy photography. While he does seem a little small for this scale, up against a 1/12 scale, like this little custom tracker I've put together, that's more like it, yeah. For 1/12 scale, he's huge. I think he would work great, and I might use him in that capacity with some of my Action Force stuff. But either way, it works, and it is a good set. I'm definitely happy with the overall presentation, how it looks. And as far as my AT-76, this is definitely the air adventurer that I wanted in the team. He's got the classic look, but he's got the updated articulation. He's got a cool outfit and some cool gadgetry. Bazooka, you know, meh. We'll figure it out. But overall, I'm very happy with this addition to the team, and we'll see where we go next. This is also appropriate, or at least good timing, because I'm getting together with some of the guys to talk about the pop culture lore of Bigfoot sometime in the near future, and I'll have this guy on display when we have that discussion. So that's pretty much it for this. Great set, worth finding, love the artwork, like the figures, and the team is growing. And as more things come in, we'll do more unboxings. So have a good one. We'll talk to you in the near future.